All right, so thank you for joining us for this 15-minute franchisee interview. I have my friend Andy Cohen here that I'm going to be interviewing, and he's going to be educating you all about his experience with Right at Home. So, Andy, if you would please go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners.
All right, thanks so much. It's good to be here. My name is Andy Cohen. I currently own a right-at-home franchise in Rancho Cucamonga, California,
Okay.
which is about 45 minutes east of Los Angeles. I have been in business for, gosh, I think it'll be 9 years next April,
Okay.
and I currently own two territories.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So to start, let's talk about what your life was like before you became a Right at Home franchise owner. So what did you do before franchising with Right at Home?
Sure. So totally different. I worked in the entertainment industry. I worked at Warner Brothers.
Okay.
I worked there for about 15 years. I currently live in Los Angeles, which is like the entertainment capital of the world.
Yep.
And so I did marketing. I did home entertainment marketing, so Blu-rays and DVDs and digital distribution. And then I sort of wanted to change. I think, like a lot of business owners, I thought that, hey, what can I do to I think have more flexibility in my life and actually help people. And I
Mhm.
really felt like a change was needed. And so I started researching franchises and came to Right at Home. But that's what I did before: marketing, entertainment, Warner Brothers.
Okay,
Totally
got it.
different.
That's quite the transition. So I know, and our listeners know, and the people watching, they know that you have a lot of choices when it comes to um, buying a business and joining a franchise, and specifically home care. So was there anything specifically about Right at Home and why you joined the Right at Home system?
I think as I got to talk to the corporate office at Right at Home, and again, there were a lot of choices. I was looking at different sectors, not even home care. But then once I narrowed it down to home care, and again, the reason being I wanted to do something to make a difference in people's lives and help families, I started talking to Right at Home, and I started talking to another franchise in home care. And the specific person that I was talking to really made me feel like this was something that I would I could do and I would be
Yeah.
happy with. And I also felt very supported from the beginning. And so it became one of those things where it was a comfort level
Mhm.
with Right at Home.
Yep.
And then from there, just kind of one step at a time. And then all of a sudden, you own the business. But I think that was it. I felt supported. I felt that they're very transparent about the business and really walked me through it. And I loved also the vetting process. And so you get to go there, you get to meet people in corporate, and then you get to talk to other owners.
Yep.
And that was so important for me because, again, coming from corporate, totally different, I didn't know anything about it. And so it was really important to talk to current owners about how they were doing and how they made that transition and all those things.
Yes, and still a very big and very important part of our process that's still in place is the franchisee validation part of the process. So, okay. All right, so let's go back 9 years ago and think about your world when you first started with Right at Home. So, if you could describe how your life is different now than when you first started, or think about, like what did you do when you first started in the business, and what does your day to day look like now? How is that different from then to now? So, if you paint that picture for our listeners.
I mean, gosh, when I first took over, having not known anything about the business, there was a lot of learning to be had.
Yep.
Fortunately, the folks that sold me the business, they were still in the franchise, and so they helped me. And I actually had some of the office staff with them transfer over to me, and they're actually still working with me 9 years later. Two of them are still with me.
Okay.
So there was a lot of, excuse me, a lot of stability with that. And I think that, um, I was just learning the business. And so there was, I was definitely working more then. I was learning not only the inside of the business and how it works, but also the community and getting to know the referral sources and getting to know the partners and all those things. And now, fortunately, I'm at the point where, again, I've had a lot of stability in the office staff, so I'm able to have more flexibility. And they always say, do you want to work in the business or work on the business? And I think, working more like in the business and figuring out how it works. And now I can kind of take a step back and work on the business and think more strategically about, okay, how can we keep pushing it forward? But I love it because I have so much flexibility. I got two little kids, and so that was a big change from 9 years ago. I didn't have two
Yes.
kids. So it has allowed me to spend time with them and
Mhm.
go to do the pickups at daycare and go to the doctor appointments. So it's a really beautiful thing to be able to have the business and have it run and able to also just focus on the family because balance should be important to everybody in
Yes.
life. And
Mhm.
it's super important to me. And so that was a big change, obviously. But hey, you have to work at it when you first start. You have to realize like you're not an expert at all in home care. I was in
Yeah.
entertainment. So you really want to learn everything you can, but then you get
Mhm.
to a point where it's really right now where I have that flexibility and have that balance.
Sure. Okay, got it. And I do want to point out you said something that was pretty critical to this conversation. When joining the Right at Home system, you can purchase a brand new territory and start from absolute scratch. That's one avenue, or purchase one of our resale opportunities. And basically purchasing an existing business that's open and operating, and you're taking over mid-flight while that business is up and running. And that's the path that you took when you first joined the Right at Home system, is you purchased a resale opportunity. So a lot of those things were in place as far as, the office and the staff, but what I'm hearing is there's still a lot of learning, getting out there into the community as the new owner of the business, building those partnerships, getting to know those referral sources. All of those things are still in place. And to kind of recap what you said, a lot of work when you first join the Right at Home system, but and as we tell anybody who joins the Right at Home system, when you first join, lots of onboarding and training and education, and what your role is when you first start will be very different from what your role looks like 9 years later, as you just described, more so working on the business versus when you first started, you were very much so working in the business.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
But it never really felt like, work in a sense because you're doing something for you. You own the business and you're helping people. So I always said in the beginning there was a lot of work, but it felt like a different type of work when you're working for corporate and you're working for an organization or somebody else. When you're working for yourself and
Yeah.
you have to build your business and you're helping people, it's work, but it's a different type of work. It's really
Sure.
rewarding. And so that really kind of pushes you through. And
Yep.
so, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Got it. All right. So one of the many benefits of joining a franchise system is all of the help and support and guidance received from the franchisor and working in partnership, franchisee and franchisor. If you were to choose, what would you say is the most helpful guidance or support or tool that you have with the with the franchisor? So of all the things that we do to help and support you, what do you say is the most valuable thing that you have in place with Right at Home, and all the systems and the processes, procedures, all the things that we provide to help you as a franchisee?
Um, I think it's the one-on-one coach that I
Okay.
have.
Mhm.
We meet we have a call every 8 weeks.
Mhm.
And I think that's so valuable having someone who works in the corporate office that you can talk to.
Okay.
He can share insights about some of the strategies going on. I can ask questions. He can connect me with different systems and provide reports that I need. So I think it's having that one-on-one connection with my coach. I think is
Mhm.
so valuable because I'm kind of a face-to-face. I like having conversations. That would be number one. Number two would just be the system, would be, your the website, and I can just pick and choose from different things that I need. But I think really the one-on-one coaching for me
Mhm.
has always been so valuable.
Okay, awesome. And just out of curiosity, when you first started, so you said you have a consistent meeting with your coach every 8 weeks or so, but when you first started in Right at Home, how consistent was that communication with your coach?
Oh, well, it was even more so because it was like, okay, he's got to help me do the billing and the payroll and all these things. In fact, someone even came out and spent, a couple of days with
Yeah.
me in my office. So naturally, yes, as you're starting, there was a lot of communication.
Yep.
constantly, which was fantastic because again, you always felt supported. And then that it tails off a little bit as you learn and you get comfortable, but then you still have that consistency when you need it. But yeah, at the beginning, it was a lot.
Got it.
It was probably every day that I
Yep.
spoke to the
Yep.
office.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for that. All right. So to final question for you here. Knowing that the people that are watching this are interested in potentially joining the Right at Home system. So if you could give one piece of advice to our listeners who are thinking about joining Right at Home, or just pretend like they're getting ready to open their office tomorrow, what's one piece of advice that you could give to a potential Right at Home franchise owner?
That is a good question. I think um, I think listen to people who are doing this and take it all in and be open-minded and um, be willing to learn, but always keep in mind what the end goal is to help families and you're caring for families, and that means so much. And if you always have that in mind, then it really becomes easy to make those connections and listen to people and really take things in. Because it's easy just to, I think, or it's natural to jump in and like, I want to learn this and I can do this and I can do this. No, you have to listen to those around you and really take that in and yeah, and be excited about learning and be excited about helping people. And because that's what it's all about. So
Great.
that's what I would say. Does that
That's
make
great.
sense?
Makes perfect sense. That's wonderful advice. I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, so that's all I have for you, Andy. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me. I really appreciate it. I know our listeners do as well.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on and good luck at anybody that's looking at right at home. You can always call me. All right.
Great. Thanks, Andy. Have a great
All right.
day.
You too. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.